Hello friends and welcome back to the Fife Life. In this video I'm sharing a little pregnancy update with you. I'm officially 30 weeks pregnant, so only 10 weeks to go. At 30 weeks, baby is the size of a zucchini, so baby is about 3 pounds and will continue to grow about ½ pound and ½ an inch each week. Right now, my baby is measuring in the 40th percentile and she is very active. And so lots of kicks and movement, which has been keeping me up at night. But I just get really excited when I do feel her because I'm just feeling so grateful for this pregnancy and that baby is doing well. If you have followed along with us a few videos back, I explained how we were diagnosed with a subchorionic hematoma, and so grateful that at 20 weeks, the hematoma was no longer visible. So if you haven't watched that video yet and are interested in learning more about my experience regarding that, and also some tips that I think helped promote the hematoma to heal, make sure that you head over and watch that video after this one. I'll leave the link in the description box below. Another update I haven't actually told many people is that at our anatomy scan, we also found out that baby has a marginal cord insertion. For those who don't know what a marginal cord insertion is, I had never heard of it until I was diagnosed with one. It's when the baby's umbilical cord is not attached to the very center of the placenta. It's attached near the side, but within 2 inches of the edge of it. It is very different than a velamentous cord insertion, so heads up to not get it confused with that one. I read that a marginal cord insertion occurs in about 7% of pregnancies, so not very common. The fear of having one is that because the cord is not attached to the very center of the placenta, baby has a higher risk of not getting an adequate supply of oxygen or nutrients. My OB provider didn't sound too concerned when she told us about the diagnosis. I went home and I Googled it, and if you are also experiencing a marginal cord insertion, my advice would be to stay off Google. You can find anything you want on the internet, and a lot of what I read was very discouraging. So my advice would be to trust your doctor and to follow any additional instructions they recommend, and try not to get carried away with Googling message boards and hearing people's stories that you don't even know. My doctor has advised me to come in for monthly ultrasounds to monitor baby's growth, which I know is common with this, to just have extra monitoring of the baby's growth and development. Our last ultrasound still measured baby to be healthy. Like I mentioned earlier, she's currently in the 40th percentile, and that's how Brinley was when she was also a baby, so I'm holding on to hope that everything will continue to be okay. With a marginal cord insertion, from what I understand, you can't do anything to prevent it or to help the outcome. So with my subchorionic hematoma, there were steps and precautions I could take to help promote a positive outcome, like no heavy lifting or exercising. But with a marginal cord insertion, there isn't anything proven that could help change the outcome either way. So we are still praying for a healthy baby and delivery, but have just put it all in God's hands. I feel like I have learned and grown a lot in this pregnancy with learning to just let things go, in the sense of being happy with being pregnant and not caring about people's opinions or comments about my pregnancy. I do carry big, and so when people make comments of sympathy of how big I am at only 30 weeks, or sometimes they're just plain straight out rude comments about having a big belly or weight I have gained while being pregnant, I honestly think that people should have more awareness with what not to say to a pregnant woman. I find it really interesting though when a lot of these rude or just awkward comments come from women who have also previously been pregnant. So maybe they just forgot what it was like to be pregnant. I'm not sure, but coming from me, nobody wants to be called out with being called big. So I have honestly learned to not let people's comments really bother me with this pregnancy. That is actually one thing that I struggled with while being pregnant with Brinley. Literally my whole pregnancy, people were certain I was having twins or a really big boy, or I was due any day before I was even in my 3rd trimester. And just comments that were just plain out rude comments like, oh, you could poke an eye out with your belly, or oh, are you scared to go on that boat because you might sink it? So really just like rude comments. And I find these comments actually hilarious now. And with my last pregnancy, I felt like I was more hormonal and sensitive with that. So it just made me really upset. So now that I'm on this topic, I'm just gonna keep on with this tangent. because I'm sure some of you watching this have your own stories about just how awkward comments people say to you while being pregnant. If you have been following our blog when I first started it, you might remember my big belly post. I'll post it below just for reminiscing those memories. It was pretty much a call out of awareness to people to think before you talk about a pregnant person's body, and how if you wouldn't say to someone who isn't pregnant, why would you say to someone who is pregnant? And I think this goes both ways, not saying how big someone is or pointing out how much weight they have gained, but people also shouldn't shame women who carry small by saying, oh, are you eating enough? Make sure baby's getting enough nutrients, all of that. Honestly, so much plays a role with how women carry babies, and genetics and how the baby is positioned are two really big roles. I had a comment just last week about how since I'll be delivering right before summer, that hopefully I'll get my summer body back before summer ends. Like, really? So comment below any awkward comments you have received while being pregnant, and hopefully those who read them can learn, oh, if I'm saying those comments, I should probably stop saying them, because they are probably not taken the way that I am intending to give. I don't think the majority of people who say these comments are trying to offend someone by them. Hopefully not. But hopefully those who watch this video will understand that, oh, maybe I shouldn't talk about someone's body or tell them how big they look or how small they look. So anyways, from what I've learned, people will probably not stop saying mean or uncalled for comments about pregnant women, but from what I've learned, you can decide how you react to them and respond to them, whether you want to respond directly or sarcastically or just plain ignoring it. It's up to you. And again, I honestly find these comments quite humorous now. I really should start writing these down just because of how absurd they get sometimes. But I'm at this point where I don't feel upset with my weight gain or my stretch marks or any of the other not fun things that come with pregnancy. Maybe it's because it's my second pregnancy, but it's taken me a while to get to this point. So I'm glad that I can say that now. But this pregnancy has taught me what a gift it truly is to have the ability to get pregnant and carry a baby. It is just an absolute miracle to feel your baby grow and kick and move right inside of you, and being able to imagine who this little baby will grow up to be someday. I had a friend that said whenever someone would say an unkind comment about her body when she was pregnant, she would respond to it by saying, oh, isn't the human body incredible? And I love that. And the human body really is incredible and truly a miracle that you have the capability to help bring life into the world. So to all you other pregnant mamas out there, in case nobody has told you lately, you are incredible, you are beautiful, you are strong, you are a mother who should feel proud of herself and for her body, for the miracle that it is to be a mother. Alright, I think I will wrap up this video. Let me know if you're liking more of these sit down and chat videos. It's definitely something that I'm kind of experimenting with right now. I have a passion for videography, but I also like to capture these memories as well with just documenting and sharing my experiences. Thanks so much for watching and for listening to my thoughts about my pregnancy update. If you like this video, hit that like button. And again, comment below how you handle weird or rude comments about your pregnant body, and we can just laugh and just have a good time together. If you want to watch more of our videos, make sure you subscribe by hitting the red button and the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos that we post every single Wednesday. Thanks again for supporting us and our family, and hope you have a great week. Okay, bye.